Can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Yay Media Group.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And there were so many things happening in the Swiftie-verse this week that we have to do a little Swiftie and talk about everything. Let's go down the agenda of things we're going to talk about today, class.
Okay.
We have her New York Times article.
Yes.
We have a wonderful deal that she made in her record contract that's going to benefit a lot of artists. We have a mysterious countdown that's happening. We have a whole bunch of different theories and things like that. What else am I missing? Anything?
Her trademark for
She's trademarking something else.
Yes.
There's so many things to talk about. And I never know what order to go in. So do we go in the order of events as they happen?
Chronological.
Yeah, I would say so because sometimes, like with the countdown, for example, some of the stuff that the theories would tie back to the interview. So if we go in order, chronological order, I think that would be best. So I would say, if we're having a meeting on the record, I would say we go in the exact order that you just named everything.
Wow, Nick.
Wow. I can't remember the order I said them in, so someone's going to have to remind me.
So I guess the order that I have in my notes is that we start with the New York Times interview, all about her songwriting, of course, and then we kind of get into the sale, the like UMG, Spotify, the trademark, the AI thing, and then end it with some fun theories and the mysterious countdown that, by the way, time of recording, Saturday, May 2nd, 7:25 a.m., important context because Lord knows that as soon as we're done finishing recording this episode, something will happen.
Well, also, we are known for getting our theories out and then something happening immediately. I also have a little news story to share with y'all at the end that will be outdated today as well. But I still thought, why not? That's never stopped us before.
Yeah, you know what? That's so true. Awesome.
So it all goes back to a couple of days ago on 4/28. The New York Times Magazine polled more than 250 music insiders and gathered 6 Times critics to choose the 30 greatest living American songwriters. And they chose Taylor Swift as being one.
Woo! Woohoo! Which makes sense, of course.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when we got this interview, it was great to just hear from Taylor herself. And it's about a 30-minute interview. So it's like listening to a whole podcast from Taylor Swift, which is so fun.
It is really great because we live in a time where Taylor doesn't do tons of interviews.
Yeah.
And she definitely doesn't do long interviews. She did a podcast with Travis. That was like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. That was great. But she doesn't really do a ton of interviews. So whenever we get anything, we just devour so much of it.
And I think it's wonderful that it's about songwriting. You know,
something that she just loves so much.
Something that she loves so much that we know that she holds very, very dear. She's also about to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame this year. And I do feel like, I mean, obviously we've had this podcast for a couple years now, but at the core, when we study the like music and lyrics of Taylor's discography, we're really talking about her songwriting quite a lot. So hearing her say some of the things that we've said on the podcast before was very, I don't know if validating is the right word, but like when she talks about her bridges the way that we do. And when she talks about like, there is a part, and I know we're going to play some clips, but the part that really stood out to me was how, at least we've said before, that one of my favorite parts of Taylor's songwriting is when she starts with a phrase and ends it with a phrase, but it means something different. And we always refer to that as just being a very classic Taylor Swift songwriting style. And she talked about that in the interview. So it was really cool to see her talk about the things that we talk about when we talk about her songwritings.
And just to know as we go into this discussion, the company that she's in, along with some of the other songwriters, some names you're never going to know. They're just like the songwriters, not the actual performer of the song. But names people might recognize would be Jay-Z, Babyface, Mariah Carey. You got Carole King. You got Brittany Howard, Erykah Badu, Stevie Wonder. So she's in some very good company. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, there's other people who just write the songs, but you never see their face or hear their voices. So it's a great list to be on. And so, yes, we do have so many clips, tons of clips. We were pulling and editing clips this morning, and we wanted to get more, but there's just not enough time. Like, we could just
replay the
whole interview. But if we just want to go, I guess, kind of in the order that she was saying them in the interview.
Yeah.
She talked a lot about her songwriting styles and then also the early artists and styles of music that inspired her as a kid.
A hypothetical structure would be, first verse, little girl, learns a lesson that in the chorus her mom teaches her about. Then the little girl grows up and now she's a teenager and she realizes, oh my God, my mom was right about this. Now the second time you hear the hook, that same hook means something a little bit different because she's like grown up in her life. Then the bridge, maybe she goes on in her life. She has a little girl. She imparts that wisdom onto her. And then if you really want to get me to cry, like bring back that same first line of the song and end the song with it. So that was the first thing that made me think it's got to be country music. But then lyricism, I was the most intensely impacted by emo music. Right? Dashboard Confessional, Chris Carrabba, Fall Out Boy, Pete Wentz's lyrics, how they take a common phrase and then they just twist the knife of it, right? Like, I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song.
I love that. And a lot of what she just described are things that we talk about constantly on this podcast of like, oh my gosh, the twist, the structure of the song. And she even says in the interview, she's like, I believe in structure of a song. And she's like, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus again. And then she's like, and then sometimes we kind of escape that a little bit and things like that. But when we're talking about the twist, she mentions what her favorite twist in a song is that she's ever written.
My favorite end plot twist, I think, that I've done in songwriting is the ending of The Last Great American Dynasty. That's my favorite one. She moved away from Holiday House. It sat quietly on that beach, free of women with madness, their men and bad habits, and then it was bought by me. And you're like, every time I get to that part when I would sing it on tour, I just like have to kind of like I wanted my grin to go from here to here, but that looks crazy. So it's like I had to like taper down my own excitement that hook happened.
Well, hang on, Nick. I want to go back to the first clip where she's talking about the country songwriting, the Taylor Swift songwriting that we know at its core that she's been doing for such a long time. There's debut rumors, of course. We'll get to that later. But I heard somebody point out if debut's coming out this year, how beautiful would it be if we had teenage Taylor Swift and now Taylor Swift together on a song, even if it's like teenage Taylor at the very beginning and then you have mature Taylor, older voice singing.
She can do that now because she owns them.
She owns everything. So how would that be?
That'd be so great.
Yeah.
I would
if she
cry.
could do that for a debut. And then she's teased before what she has coming up. Like, I was looking at it earlier with Brandon Urie for Me during the Lover music video. Remember, she had a mural in Nashville and there was Me, ! People automatically was like, oh, she's doing something with Panic at the Disco. And she was. Well, she just named a slew of rock artists. Now, she also named a bunch of country artists right before that. But we've always wondered when we're going to get rock, Taylor. That was supposed to be Beachella, Karma.
Talk, yeah.
Yeah. So is she name dropping people that she's going to work with?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Or named a bunch of people and there's going to be one person.
Right.
Or all of them. Or who knows.
Yeah.
But
anything's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I do love that when she was naming some of these artists, some of them, you're like, oh, Fall Out Boy. Like, she did get to work with them.
Yeah.
And it's cool that knowing, I'm sure that older Taylor is fangirling so much over someone like Pete Wentz, who she just named.
Yeah.
Being able to write and sing with him and everything. Like, that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
how fun. Good for her.
Yeah, I do. Wow, Lacey, I love the idea about like a song starting with like her younger voice and ending with her older voice. That'd be so cool.
Picture this.
Picture to Burn?
Nope. She's on an award show, and she sings one of her early songs. She's singing Tim McGraw, and she's there live singing as her current age. And then it cuts to a performance of her singing it when she was 16. And then that's how she gets to sing back and forth with each other. And you get to see her young. You get to see her older.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
It would be
A
fun.
la Justin Bieber at Coachella?
Good point. She can do it like in front of a laptop, hunched over. That'd be fun.
Hey, it was really great. Like
It was fun.
Him harmonizing with his younger self was beautiful.
cool.
If Taylor did something similar, it would be so beautiful. I would love that. And that's why I said I loved it when Justin Bieber did it.
Justin did it first, though.
Very true. Good
but
point.
great,
She can't do that. She can't do it.
But still a great idea. Something that I was thinking when I was watching this interview was how funny would it have been if she started the interview with saying, so over the years, a lot of people asked me to describe my songwriting process from beginning to end.
That would have been so great. What a missed opportunity.
What a missed opportunity. Come on. But you know what? I'll use it as an Instagram caption when we post this episode.
So another thing that she talked about in this interview that I really loved is how, people may not love her music at first, and it might take a little bit of time for them to come around.
I loved the Reputation album. I was like, you guys say what you want. I know what I did. I love it. Like, go with God. Sorry. Like, you can come around if you want. It's okay if you don't. And then, 6 or 7 years later, people are like, oh my God, like, ready for it. Like, people slept on that song.
They sure did. They did, Taylor.
Go with God.
love that Taylor is straight up saying that. Y'all slept on Reputation.
Yeah.
And that album is so good. But it did get its resurgence, though, thankfully. But I mean, at the time, Taylor's dead? Who's this Dark Taylor? We don't want her. Well, you don't even know Tortured Poets Department yet. Okay, that's still coming.
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it at the time. And we've said so many times that the Reputation album, and now in my opinion, Tortured Poets as well, just gets better and better with every single day that passes. It's like a fine wine for some reason. But yeah, I mean, she even herself said that's part of why she couldn't even re-record it.
I do love hearing how when she's talking about these songs, it sounds like she's a fan of Taylor Swift as well.
She is.
I love that she's a fan just as much as we are.
Yeah. And I do
Great.
love, I saw, so the person that interviewed her for this then did a separate podcast talking about the interview, kind of like we are now, I guess. But he said that Taylor came very prepared. She came prepared with examples. She came prepared with lyrics. Like, she knew what she wanted to talk about.
I would expect nothing less.
I would expect nothing less also.
Yeah.
But, it's like, yeah, part of you, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, like, she is, of course, picking perfect examples to back up what it is she's saying, like with the last great American dynasty and things like that. But there's so many. There's so many to pick from. And so, I don't know, just knowing she came prepared, but also, like, where were her notes? Or was it just, like, all in her head? This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, a reminder that whatever you're going through, you don't have to do it alone. Life is a journey. Some days feel good, others feel really overwhelming. Whatever's keeping you up at night, it's easy to feel like you have to figure it all out on your own. But the truth is, no one has all the answers, and no journey should be alone. Having someone with you to listen, to understand, and to support you can make all the difference. And sometimes it might feel like something is weighing on you quite a lot, and then you say it out loud to a therapist, and they help you realize how you can navigate what it is that you're going through. Sometimes you just feel stuck and anxious and unsure, but acknowledging that and talking your feelings out with someone can help you more than you know. And BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct, and they are fully licensed in the U.S. BetterHelp does the initial match work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. You answer a short questionnaire that helps you identify your needs and your preferences, and then they do the match work for you. And if you're not happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time. I've done it before. It feels kind of scary, but I promise you it's worth it. You don't have to be on this journey alone. Find support and have someone with you in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/TaylorSwiftFan. That's betterhelp.com/TaylorSwiftFan.
Well, I got to say, this also speaks to something that she mentioned in this interview about being prepared, how when she was a teenager trying to get writing sessions with professional songwriters in Nashville.
Yeah.
How she would come with most of a song ready and she just needed someone to polish it up and edit it, or she would come in with 10 ideas, because she said that she was always nervous that people would look at her thinking like, who's this teenage girl thinking she can just walk in here and let us do the work for her. So like, no, she's prepared. She's the one driving the ship here.
Yeah.
She even talks also about how, like when she was writing the Speak Now album, because she had gotten some flack from people in the industry saying like, oh, she can't really write. It's her co-writers. And she's saying like, no, I don't need the co-writers. It's helpful. It's nice to collaborate and fun, but she's prepared. She knows what she's doing.
But I don't need them.
I don't need them.
Yeah.
I am impressed at how prepared she is, because I would just think Taylor Swift is so well-spoken, on top of her game. I mean, even during the Eras tour, even though she said a lot of the same things, then there's the speech before Champagne Problems, and that didn't feel rehearsed.
Right.
If I was going to do that, I'd have to rehearse it and like make sure I know what I'm going to say so I don't just go off tangent. So I do think that it's fascinating that Taylor Swift prepares herself, because I just assume she wakes up awesome every single day and needs no preparation. She's just good to go.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but she's also like that in every single sense of it. Like, I think it was one of the people that were on the Graham Norton show had said that before that interview, Taylor watched every single thing that all those other actors were promoting. She watched the movie that Don Gleason was in, and she watched, like she does her research every single time for everything, which is absolutely, I mean, it's just a testament to her, how hardworking she is, which people close to her have said time and time again. Yeah. But she is really good at playing it off, to your point, Lacey.
One of the things that I liked her talking about is kind of the minutia of songwriting that we may not think of, but when she's talking about how she prefers certain letters and different styles and things like that. And then she's also mentions kind of how one of the most popular lines that she has in one of her songs, how it's not exactly the common phrase, but she had to change it because of how she feels about certain letters and words.
And it's so cute.
I have little phonetic things. I love alliterations. I love, two words that start with the same letter. Love that. I don't like to have a word end with the same letter that the next word starts with. For example, in the song, Our Song, it was supposed to be when you're on the phone and you talk real low. But I was like, I don't like the real low. So it's turned into when you talk real slow.
That gave me 20 years of closure.
Why is she saying
because
slow?
For 20 years, I have tried to envision someone talking really slow on the phone to be secretive, like, hey, I love you. And her saying that truly, that gave me closure. Thank you so much, Taylor. But I also love that she mentioned the alliteration, because that's something that we talk about a lot.
For sure.
All of the alliteration in her songs. Most, top of mind for me would be I Wish You Would. I wish you would come back, but you never hold the phone like I did.
But think about being the guy on the other end of the phone. Like, why is Taylor talking so slow?
Oh, because see, to me in my head, it was the guy that was talking slow.
Oh, I was thinking, well, maybe I was thinking it was both of them talking slow because they're trying to hide it from their parents.
Slow.
Because it's late
and your mama don't know. Our song is...
She said he's talking slow.
I can't wait for debut Taylor's version. It's going to be so good.
She also talked about something that we can never hear Taylor talk about enough, and that is her talking about how she is an engineer because she builds the best bridges. And she talked a lot about bridges and how she's writing and how it's like a really great point in the song where you get to kind of recap what you've talked about. She builds all of that up when she's talking about the bridge, but then she used a phrase that I had never heard of when she is writing bridges with Jack Antonoff.
Jack Antonoff is a collaborator of mine and one of my best friends. We established this thing that we love to do, and we call it the Rant bridge. I could point to examples like Out of the Woods, Is It Over Now, Cruel Summer, and oftentimes we love these rant bridges where it's basically like stream of consciousness, endless pouring out of emotion, intrusive thoughts, like blended with metaphor, with discussion, with shouting. Like you want this rant bridge to feel the most intense of what that feeling is that you're trying to establish over the course of the song. And you want it to kind of be a crescendo. We usually love those so much that we then bring them back. So we'll go, verse, chorus, rant bridge, sometimes like a little post coda to that rant bridge, last chorus, bring the rant bridge back, maybe with the chorus chords underneath it.
She loves it.
She loves it.
And she mentioned Getaway Car during one point about how she loved writing that and how fun it was. Also, Jack Antonoff was on Howard Stern the same day. And Howard Stern asked him, why aren't you working Life of a Showgirl? What's going on with that? And Jack Antonoff said, I only feel grateful for the work that has happened. Maybe it's only because I write my own songs and sing them, but I understand that need to have different collaborators and jump around. I don't think it's normal to have the same collaborators over and over. And when I've had it with people, I think it's a weird miracle. So, end of that alleged beef that he is not on it. I mean, they're in interviews on the same day praising each other.
Right. Yeah. And I also think, you can have your friends that you're close with personally, and you also recognize a professional relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course that's how they are.
It's like with us.
Exactly.
How so?
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, you are correct.
And there are so many other things, but the last clip that I have for this was when she was talking about the detectives in her fan base.
Yes.
A lot of people say, like, if the FBI needs a problem, they need to get the Swifties on it because they'll solve it. They'll figure it out. Because Swifties...
Within minutes.
Swifties, we will be detectives, and we can figure out anything and everything that Taylor Swift is talking about. And she talks a little bit about that relationship here.
I have to know that, like, there's certain things that we have as a tradition between me and my fans. They love for an emotional song to be track 5. There's like special things like that, but at the same time, there's sort of so many of them now, which is great, but there's corners of my fan base who are gonna take things to a really extreme place. There's nothing I can do about that. There's people who are gonna try to like do detective work, figure out the details. Who is that about? What is this? When it gets a little bit weird for me is when people act like it's sort of like a paternity test. Like, this song's about that person, because I'm like, that dude didn't write the song I did. But that's part of it. You have to hold tight to your perception of your art and your relationship with it, and then you just kind of have to like, there it goes. Hope you like it. If you don't now, hope you do in 5 years. And if you never do, then I was doing it for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And, we attempt to make a conscious effort to not talk about the rumors and gossip that are super wild and over the top. We try not to talk about those rumors. A lot of times we're talking about things that she's mentioned in interviews and things like that. Sometimes we're not perfect, and we'll fall into that trap sometimes of talking about, oh, we definitely know who this song's about. We do from time to time, but we attempt to try to not be too salacious and guessing on things that people in the comments are a lot online.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten comments before like, why aren't y'all talking about this, or that rumor, or how that rumor impacts the chorus of this song? Like, we just don't always go quite that far.
Yeah, I think we always try to be respectful as,
Try. We're not always perfect.
We're not always perfect.
But
and
we attempt to.
If there has ever been a time that Taylor has felt disrespected by anything that we've said, I would like to apologize.
In person.
Yes, we
are.
A
real heartfelt apology has to come face to face.
Exactly.
Yes. But for real, I do think that since the beginning of the podcast, we have tried our best to, like you said, kind of not feed off of, but take things that she has said or, in that kind of way.
But here's the thing. What she's saying in that clip is the focus is on my songwriting.
Correct.
It's not on the subject. It's not who it's about. But she has still led us there by writing lyrics like blue dress on a boat. I mean, that's very specific, and everybody knew who that was about. So I don't think it's bad that we have talked about stuff because she's led us there. Now, that's not the point. The point is she wrote this beautiful song and that's how it came out. But there are direct details in it that lead you back to something else.
Yeah.
So we're not assholes for talking about it because we've always credited her and that she was inspired by this. But we've had the podcast for a long time. So we have mentioned people, other people involved.
Other people involved.
Well, I do want to play this real quick voicemail from our Google phone number, which is 689-214-1313. Amy just said if Taylor Swift is upset with us, we need to talk to her in person. And our listener, Emily, kind of thinks the same thing or maybe brings up a solid point.
Hi, this is Emily from Illinois. And I was thinking about the fact that you guys don't have a message on this voicemail yet. What if Taylor tries to call one day and she's not sure if she got the right place? So instead of connecting with you guys, she just hangs up. It gets time for a message. Okay, anyways, bye.
Excellent point.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
So it'd have to be in person. But also, Taylor Swift is prepared. So if she didn't reach us the first time, she would figure out other ways to reach us, right?
That has been a fear of mine. Like, sometimes when we find out that fans got invited to the premiere of the movie or things like that, I go and check every single email, every single spam email, every single DM inbox, because sometimes I get split into requests and hidden and whatever. And I'm like, let me make sure that we did not miss anything. Don't worry. To this point, to my knowledge, we just haven't been invited.
I was going to
She's
ask.
calling and hanging up because it knows
I was going to say, Anna, if this is the time that you tell us that we missed a secret session because she was in the other inbox, I'm going to be mad.
If that ever happened, I don't even know how I would say that to you guys. And I don't know. I think you would just never see me again.
You wouldn't tell us.
I think
You just couldn't.
I couldn't. I couldn't. But you would know.
There'd be signs.
There'd be signs. There'd be signs. I'd be listening to a lot of the Tortured Poets department.
A couple things from the interview. Taylor Swift is on her mirror ball kick lately.
Yes.
And
Yes,
mentioned
girl.
it again. Yeah, during this interview was talking about her love for Mirrorball. And then I'm just like, why does she love Anna so much?
It's very validating that I got a Mirrorball tattoo, and every time she talks about how much she loves that song, I'm like, thank God. Because if there's ever a day that she's like, I hate that song so much, I would have to get it removed.
She also, in classic Taylor Swift fashion, she named songs from every single album except for Evermore.
Oh, Evermore.
Not a single Evermore song?
Not a single Evermore song. But Swifties, don't worry, because we ourselves on the 13 podcast broke down Evermore. So
That's so funny.
We remembered it. So if you ever want to go back and listen. But yeah, people are like, she cannot remember Evermore.
Oh my God.
At this point, she knows she's doing a bit, right? That's
She's
so
the
funny.
best at bits.
She does good bits.
Yeah.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
she's so prepared. Do you think she knows every album that she's...
Nope, guess not.
She's like, I love all 11 of my albums. But that's also crazy because Evermore has some really incredible songwriting.
Yeah.
Some of her best.
You know what she did say at one point? She said folklore and all that.
The TV show? All that?
Oh, no.
At one point,
no.
she was talking about how her songwriting from folklore on changed because she talks about characters and so one day she wanted to write a book and things like that. And so I think I remember, I didn't pull the clip, but I think I remember her saying, yeah, with folklore and all that.
All that other stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff that came right after that.
That's pretty funny.
Like the sister album.
Yeah, folklore and that other one.
What was it? What was the name?
Woodvale?
Wood.
Can we also talk about how something that we have always known, but she just once again confirmed, was the all too well 10-minute version and how that came to be?
Yeah, really cool story.
I don't know if you pulled that clip.
I did not.
Do you want me to just...
Please
for
tell.
those that missed it. Well, and we knew for a long time. So when she had All Too Well, the snack size version, and it was on the original Red album, at some point in that era, she had mentioned in an interview that there was a 10-minute version, not per se that she had written a 10-minute version, recorded it, and just didn't make the album, but she had said something along the lines of how she just kept rambling. And from then on, we as fans knew that there was more lyrics And we just called it the 10-minute version. And even if you go back and listen to the very beginning of this podcast before she decided to re-record her albums and everything, we talk about, oh, I wonder if one day we'll get the 10-minute version. Oh, the 10-minute version, so like elusive. And she talked about this in the interview, basically telling that story that when she had her rambling, there was a sound guy that recorded all of it. And then when she's re-recording her albums and she decided to do all 10-minute version, she tried to just find lyrics in diaries and try to find that CD, that recording, and try to kind of piece it together. And that was something that we had wondered with the 10-minute version. We were like, were these the original lyrics? Were they updated? How did she do that? And I think her talking about how she kind of had to find scraps of it and then
because she didn't own it. She didn't have the original recording to be able to go back to.
Yeah.
And she searched through journals and came up and pieced this together. How incredible is that? But then hearing her say that was just a light bulb moment that was like, oh, you couldn't go back and get that recording that somebody definitely still had. Now she has it all. But at the time she had to, what was I ranting about that day? Let me see if I can find lyrics and make it happen again.
Yeah. So it was just cool to hear her tell that whole story in the interview, because when it does come to her songwriting, like that is just, I don't know, a golden moment in her career.
Something else that I thought was interesting as I was scrolling social media, I also saw that the name Ellen was trending. Did y'all see this?
No, I didn't.
So like the name Ellen was also trending, or I would see the name Ellen in comments and I was like, what's Ellen? Like, who is Ellen? And Swifties were posting clips and mashups and edits of Taylor saying in this New York Times interview how a lot of her songs, her love songs, come from, her heartbreak and things like that. And it also comes from the attention she would get from the media about her relationships and her love life. And she was saying, like, I wouldn't have songs with blank space if people weren't saying, here's a slideshow of every time Taylor's with another guy, and it's a long slideshow. And then they would cut to a clip of Taylor being on Ellen DeGeneres' show.
Oh, okay.
And Ellen would do that. Whenever Taylor would come on, she would show a new slideshow of all the guys she had been on. I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, I don't know if she was intentionally throwing shade at Ellen or if fans just were like, oh, Ellen would do that.
Yeah.
But also a lot of gossip columns do that. TMZ, the rags and stuff would.
But it's so in your face. Are you saying that when Taylor was on the show?
On Ellen.
That's so in your face.
Yeah, and Taylor's sitting there very uncomfortable, like, oh my gosh, she's being nice about it. She's like, oh no, stop. And Ellen's like, oh, here's another one, and another one, and another one.
Gross.
Well, Ellen was so loved and no one really paid attention or thought, because it was such a bully world then that it didn't even feel like she's bullying, because that's just the way that it is. But now you go back and watch interviews and it's really cringe. It's really weird. I mean, there's clips of people talking about cameras in the bathroom and stuff.
Sure.
That, Ellen's pranking people. That was her whole deal. But there's been several celebrities on there mentioning that, and nobody clocked it at the time. And it's just like, that's not okay. You can't scare me there. That's wrong. That's so wrong. Taylor Swift also mentioned that she's often scrolling on her phone, but she said she's not scrolling social media. She's looking through her notes app, looking for words, lyrics, thoughts that she had written down at one point and wanted to put back in music. So I thought that was, we've always wondered about her notes app. Taylor Swift, I want to see your notes app.
Yeah, and there are times where we come across certain lyrics where we're like, when did she write that specifically? And there was in that moment where she said, like, oh yeah, here's a lyric that I wrote at 3 a.m. 4 years ago. Like it just kind of fits. Like Meet Me Behind the Mall is the one that we famously know.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of that. But I want to know more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a great interview. I'm loving this era of Taylor Swift because she is out doing interviews. She's sharing so much.
So let's get into Taylor Swift and Spotify and how something happened that's going to benefit a lot of artists. So back in 2018, when she switched from Big Machine Records over to Universal Music Group, she signed a new contract, right?
And this was between Reputation and Lover.
That's right, between Reputation and Lover. It was a big deal. And then in the years after, we find out about Scott Borchetta and her not being very nice with her and this not great deal she was going to get to stay, so she went and got a better deal with a different music label. So it was a big deal when she signed a new contract. And so what she did, this was back in 2018, when she was signing a deal with Universal Music Group, she put into a contract that if her new record label sold any of their stock in Spotify, that the money from that sale would have to go directly to other artists signed on that record label. So that money wouldn't go just to Taylor Swift. It would go to everyone on their roster, right? And I believe they owned 6% of Spotify. So it was a lot of money. And so that was back in 2018. We had never heard about this clause in her contract, but this past week, Universal Music Group announced that they're going to sell 3% of their stake in Spotify. So that's about $1.4 billion that will now be paid back directly to artists on Universal Music Group's roster. So Taylor will get a little cut of that, but also so many artists will get a pretty good payday from that.
Kendrick Lamar, Sabrina
Yes.
Carpenter, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber. Like, there's a lot of artists that Taylor covered in 2018 when
Yes.
she made this deal, not just thinking of herself.
Yeah.
And I love her.
I absolutely love this. Say what you want about Taylor Swift. Say what you want about billionaires. There's a conversation to be had about everything. But this is just another example of how Taylor is not the selfish person that she's painted out to be a lot of times in the media. She's done things like this before, and it takes an artist of Taylor Swift's status and caliber and just weight in the industry and voice in the industry to kind of take a stand on things like this. Several years ago, even before this, when she was on her old record label, she she pulled her music off of streaming services. She didn't have it on Spotify. She didn't have it on Apple because they had changed the way how they were paying artists. And, you know, when these streaming services first came out, they said, yes, we're going to pay artists so much money, because at this point, artists were losing so much money because like physical media, CD sales were going down tremendously. So artists were not making as much money anymore. And so Taylor said, no, you said you were going to pay artists a certain amount, but you're not. So I'm taking all my music off. And she stayed off for a while. I don't remember how long, but then they changed how much they're going to pay artists, and she put her music back on. So she does things like this to benefit other artists. And a lot of times in interviews when she talks about doing the Taylor's version and things like that, she's saying like, no, you can do this. Like, she's just trying to give people a heads up on in a path of things that they can do to not get into these predatory situations like she got into when she was a teenager, signing her life away, not really knowing what she was getting into. It's really no fault of her own or anyone's. You know, they see that a record label is going to take a chance on them, and you're just going to sign and not think about it. You know, so it's just really cool. It's just a testament to how she's looking out for others in the industry and not just herself, like people think.
Keep in mind, this was 2018.
Yes.
When she did this. Jen at Swiftie vs. News 13 pointed out when this happened and how Taylor was thinking way ahead.
The thing that gets me most about Taylor Swift's Spotify deal, which says that if UMG ever sells its Spotify shares, then the artists get a profit regardless, is that when Taylor signed this deal back in 2018 when she was switching over to Universal Music Group, this was in the midst of her Reputation era when she was still very much hated and being snubbed for the Grammys, right? This was during a dark time. And still, Taylor was out there looking out for other artists and wanting to ensure that other artists got paid. She said, I want everyone, all of your artists that are signed to your label, to get a portion of the profit from selling shares if you ever sell your Spotify shares. And that is queen behavior.
Yeah. And keep in mind, we saw this clip, we've heard it, thought about it, lives rent-free in our head time and time again from Miss Americana. This was Taylor Swift's mindset at the time.
You are not nominated.
Oh, okay. It's, this is good. This is fine. You know what? Like, this is fine. I just need to make a better record.
Well, Reputation is a great record.
No, I'm making a better record.
That was the Taylor Swift that signed the deal covering other artists, not the Taylor Swift today who says, I know that album was fire. I love it. That was her mindset, and she's still thinking ahead and helping other people.
Yeah, and she's always been so ahead of the curve. The curve became a sphere. Like, in every aspect, I feel like even from a young age, like she knew to use social media to connect with her fans. She knew that, you know, connecting with her fans would then lead to them wanting to know more about her. And then she kind of saw the scope of how streaming was going to go and how physical media was going to go away and things. And now she's doing it once again by trademarking her voice and likeness when it comes to AI. And are we done talking about?
I have one thing to add.
Okay.
But it's kind of in the weeds and in minutia. I hope y'all bear with me while I get on my soapbox here. But another thing that I really love about this deal that she signed in her contract was that when the record label does pay artists, they have to pay the money. The money does not go to money the artist owes back to the record label. So one of the kind of predatory things that people don't think about is that when you sign an artist, they'll say like, yeah, we'll give you $1 million to make this album. Well, that $1 million is paid to the artist, but it goes to their recording time and the writers and producers and setting up tours and all this stuff. So then by the time, 2 years down the road, the artist might end up owing back, like that $1 million is gone and they'll end up owing the record label back a lot of money too. It gets really confusing. But this money is paid directly to the artist. It doesn't just like go into the debt that the artist would owe. Now that debt still has to be settled in some way, but she's saying it has to go directly to the person. It's not going back into the company and cooking the books somehow and
a line of credit.
Yeah, fancy accounting. It's like, no, it goes directly to the musician.
Yeah.
And then it can go back to debts they owe, whatever that is. But it's just an interesting thing that like, another caveat of how she's protecting the artist.
And
Which is cool.
And I do love that she made sure that it was every artist on the UMG roster. It wasn't just, the big money makers, the top 10, the Kendrick Lamars, the Ariana Grandes. It's every single artist that's signed, big or small, get a payout, which is incredible.
Wonderful.
I mean, she's taking all of her friends to the summit. Is this it? That she's been saying it. I've thought she's starting her own record label and bringing everybody. I mean, all these artists that she helped out, some of them are the artists that walked away from Scooter Braun's management a couple years ago.
Pretty impressive. So she's always looking out for others. And then, so now we can go to the next topic on the agenda, like Anna was talking about protecting her likeness from AI.
Yeah, which is just once again her getting ahead of things, because we do live in an age where AI is taking over, like genuinely. I personally hate AI. I'm very anti-AI, especially in a creative field. And I do think it's getting to the point where it's getting scary. And with someone like Taylor Swift, who is so well-known and recognizable, it's really scary to think that it's so easy for someone to just take her voice and say, hey guys, I'm Taylor Swift, buy this product. And people will believe it. And people will buy those products. And it happened actually kind of around the Eras Tour in countries on the other side of the world, where there was this like AI versions of Taylor being like, oh, hey guys, it's Taylor, sign up here to get like a discount to my tickets. And people would do it and then they would get scammed. But that's not Taylor Swift. But also we have reached just a point in our society, unfortunately, where, and I'll get on my own AI soapbox at a later date, but we are at a point where there's a lack of media literacy. And so there could be AI slop that we can recognize, like, yeah, this is obviously fake, but some people really think it's real. I get messages all the time that it's like a screenshot of some AI slop of Taylor and Travis getting married. And people will send it to me and be like, oh my God, the wedding happened. And I'm like, that is so fake. It like hurts me to think that you genuinely think that's real. But that's just the world that we live in. And so Taylor has filed new trademark protections covering her voice, her name, and her likeness in new legal filings. They're primarily aimed at protecting her identity from unauthorized commercial use, especially in the context of AI-generated content. And when this was happening, because this was only a few days ago, and I saw a lot of conversations of people being like, but why? Like, why bother? There's nothing she can do because the laws against AI like aren't written yet and all this stuff. And it's like, right, but she's getting ahead of it. She is going to go ahead and trademark her voice and her likeness so that a year from now, when some random ass company uses her name to sell something, she can sue them and then no one's going to do it after that. You know what I mean? And so legal experts are interpreting the move as a direct response to the deep fakes, the voice cloning, and also AI music. Remember when we thought we got a leak of Fortnite?
And you know what? That song's great. I hate to say it. And it
But,
goes
like-
against everything that Anna just said. But like, that song's kind of a bop.
But even when we got it, we're like, it sounds exactly like her.
Right.
You know? And so now, like, anybody could take her voice and have her sing lyrics that are horrible, and people will think that it's her, you know? And so, especially with an artist like Taylor, and this applies to everyone, but with an artist like Taylor, where her songwriting is so confessional to her life, somebody can have her say something absolutely terrible. Somebody will hear that. They'll never know that it wasn't real, and then they'll forever think that that's what she said.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's getting into like really, really icky territory when
Yeah.
it comes to the AI, like deepfakes and things like that. And so the trademarks would strengthen her ability to stop companies and individuals from replicating her voice for ads, music, digital content without permission. And then it says, industry attorneys say that this type of filing could become a blueprint for other artists trying to protect their digital identity rights. So once again, Taylor is probably leading the force on this one, and I do expect to see other artists follow.
That makes sense.
And it's just such a frustrating time, to completely echo what Anna was just saying, because yeah, Taylor's been victim with fake nudes that are being posted of her and stuff like that, and it's just awful, and people share them. But you also have some other artists that are like going all in on AI and being like, yeah, like Val Kilmer, he's passed away for a year. They are using AI to put him in a new movie, and it's like, I don't know if I like this. This is just weird. So like, some are trying to protect themselves and some are going all in. And I'm glad Taylor's trying to protect herself from this. But it's also like, AI is so widespread that like, you can have every protection in the world, but it's still probably not going to stop people from doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's at least some
better than
sort of
nothing.
legal way to make them stop. And so it's just frustrating. It's just like, it's at a point where you're like, I don't know if there is a right way to stop any of it.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
So I'm going to make the executive decision. I'm not the producer of this podcast. We actually have one that we're going to hear from here in just a second.
Ooh.
Juliana called us?
Another one. another one. But I do want to share some Taylor Swift news that will also be outdated by the time this airs.
All right.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce at the Kentucky Derby. Today, at time of recording, today's Kentucky Derby Day.
Oh.
And it was rumored that they both purchased a 10% stake in the Kentucky Derby horse racehorse, the Puma. And the co-owner of this horse retweeted the rumor and then later said, okay, everyone asking me if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are partners on the Puma. All I can say is I signed an NDA, so I can't confirm or deny.
Oh, I hate this.
'Cause
That
of
means
course-
it didn't happen, and he's just trying to get some pub off of it.
Some pub.
But he's
Publicity.
not the one who started the rumor, but the Swift effect had immediate results and impacted the Kentucky Derby odds. So Puma ended up shooting up like 10-1 as of the time that I saw this article.
Yeah.
It might change. He might have won by now. I don't know. But connecting Taylor and Travis to it made that the odds of that horse jump up.
Well, didn't Travis actually like bet on a horse named Swift?
He may have.
Last year, I think,
may
or the
have.
year before, like at some point, because people were like, haha, that's cheeky.
And it's been rumored, I mean, wasn't it the Kentucky Derby where they were selling concert tickets or a raffle or something to an upcoming Taylor Swift concert?
I remember. Yeah, I remember there was some raffle. I don't remember. It may have been the Kentucky Derby, some sort of benefit or
Oh, yeah.
something.
And then they had to specify, like, for whenever she goes
For
back
whenever.
on tour. There is no tour that we know about. Yeah, it was like some sort of auction of some sort.
Yeah, but they've been tied to the Kentucky Derby before because they went one time and because Travis betted on it. But let's hear a quick voicemail from our overseas producer who wanted to tell us something. Our Google voicemail is 689-214-1313.
Hi, 13, the podcast. It's Paula speaking from the Netherlands. I was listening to all my Taylor Swift songs in my playlist on Spotify, and I don't know how, but accidentally I listened to them all in alphabetic order. And that got me thinking, maybe it's fun for you guys to think of your favorite Taylor Swift song per letter in the alphabet. I don't think there's one song that starts with every letter, so maybe not the X and the Z, but I think there's still quite a lot. I had a few starting with a B, for example. So I'm very curious about that. Maybe there's a list to make out of it, a special episode. I don't know. I love listening to your podcast, especially when you're looking into things, explaining things. Really enjoyed Opalite the last podcast I listened from you guys. So thank you so much and keep on making those podcasts. And I'm hoping to hear maybe my idea back in your podcast. Thanks so much. Bye.
That's a great idea.
I agree.
That's a really, really fun idea.
Because we've done what's our favorite track 2?
Yeah.
And track 5s. We've never done by letter.
By letter's fun.
What's our favorite B song?
Yeah.
What's our favorite? Begin again. What's your favorite? Oh, blank space. Let's throw out a random letter. J.
Ugh.
Jump and fall.
Oh, jump and fall, of course.
But I mean, is it the only one?
Is it my favorite J? I don't know. It might have to be.
What about L?
Well, you got lover, love story.
Love story. Yeah. No, this was really fun.
I do really
that
like
is a
it.
great. That is a
I
great
would really love to do that.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to say that we should start recording our episode, do our song breakdowns, but in alphabetical order. We start with All Too Well, just do it all over again.
I love that. I love that voicemail. And something that they mentioned was Opalite, something that we recently broke down. And I can't wait to tell you some theories now.
Ooh.
In the next episode that comes back to Opalite and this crazy countdown that we've had going on.
All right, we have to stop and we have to get to another crazy Taylor Swift story, a mysterious countdown. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift Fan Podcast. If you haven't already, subscribed to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. And join us next time for some more wonderful Taylor Swift rumors, gossip, what's she up to? Ooh.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.